development, and we're not going to let other countries take it away from us, because that's what's been happening for far too many years, and we're not going to do it anymore. We're not going to do it anymore. I want to thank and congratulate the Republican National Committee and Reince Priebus, who I just spoke to. He's doing a tremendous job. It's not an easy job when he had 17 egos, and now I guess he's down to one. I don't know. Is there a second? I mean, is there a second? I don't know. I'm going to have to ask you folks to explain the status of that, but he's done an amazing job, and I think we're going to see something really, really fantastic. I also want to thank my staff.
Donald Trump, the presumptive presidential Republican nominee. Thank you for watching CBS 2 News at 6.
The CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley is coming up next.
Ted Cruz drops out. Trump and Sanders win in Indiana. Also tonight, a study finds medical errors are now the third leading cause of death.
We're talking about things that happen that shouldn't happen in a sound healthcare system.
A jury finds talcum powder caused a woman to get cancer. And did a dead king bless soccer's fairy tale season?
Sing a hot song for the boys!
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley. This is our Western edition, and we begin with breaking news. The Republican race for the nomination is over. Indiana today was decisive. Ted Cruz called it make or break, and he lost. Donald Trump won the Republican primary there. Ted Cruz came in second, and a short time ago he suspended his campaign, leaving only Ohio Governor John Kasich to oppose Trump. On the Democratic side, CBS News projects that Bernie Sanders has won Indiana, though Hillary Clinton retains an insurmountable delegate lead. We'll begin with the Republicans and Ted Cruz, who told supporters in Indiana that the race is over.
From the beginning, I've said that I would continue on as long as there was a viable path to victory. Tonight, I'm sorry to say, it appears that path has been foreclosed.
Donald Trump is now the presumptive Republican nominee, and he spoke to a victory rally in New York.
Just so you understand, Ted Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor. He is a tough, smart guy. And he has got an amazing future. He's got an amazing future. So I want to congratulate Ted. And I know how tough it is. It's tough. It's tough. I've had some moments where it was not looking so good. And it's not a great feeling. And so I understand how Ted feels, and Heidi and their whole beautiful family. And I want to just say, though, that one tough competitor. And I can say that for the others. I mean, Chris Christie, who endorsed me, incredible guy. Dr. Ben Carson, who was right up there, one of the first. He just called me and said, it's a movement you've got going. We've got to do something, because I'll tell you what, it's an incredible movement. And Dr. Ben Carson endorsed me, and I want to tell you, that is an incredible man. And we want to keep them totally involved, because we're going to win. We're going to win in November. And we're going to win big.
Donald Trump will have the delegates that he needs by June the 7th. Nancy Cordes is with the Democrats. Nancy, a win for Bernie Sanders tonight, but it would probably be too little too late.
Probably, and his win does not come as a complete surprise to Clinton aides. One of them told me today they thought that this race could go either way and that there were a number of things working in Sanders' favor in Indiana. First of all, it's an open primary, which means that the independents who favor him can vote. Second of all, it's a Rust Belt state, and we've already seen that his message on trade works well in that part of the country. Third, he spent about $2 million on ads there, while Clinton spent almost nothing because she's now saving up for the general election. Sanders is in Louisville, Kentucky tonight, and you wouldn't know from his campaign speech there that he is still trailing Clinton by about 800 delegates, and that won't change much no matter whether he won or lost Indiana tonight.
The issue of wealth and income inequality is the great moral issue of our time. It is the great economic issue of our time. It is the great political issue of our time, and together we will address that issue.
Clinton has spent the past couple of days not in Indiana, but in Appalachia, in West Virginia and Kentucky, which vote in the coming weeks. She was asked today, Scott, how she expected to do in Indiana, and tellingly she said that she was focused on the general election, so she likely saw the writing on the wall as well. Though a number of Indiana Democrats, a majority, told our exit pollsters today that they still expect her to be the party's nominee.
Nancy, with Ted Cruz dropping out on the Republican side, will there be a lot of pressure on Bernie Sanders to do the same?
There will, Scott, especially if he continues to go after Hillary Clinton as he did again on the stump tonight. For the Clinton campaign, the fact that Ted Cruz has now dropped out makes their job a lot more clear. You always like to be able to define your opponent, but they were kind of hedging their bets as to who their opponent was going to be. She would talk about Donald Trump, she would talk about Ted Cruz, and there was still the possibility that there would be a contested convention and she would find out that she had an entirely different opponent come July. So the fact that they can now home in on Donald Trump as their opponent helps them with their strategizing. In fact, just a few minutes ago, Hillary Clinton tweeted out a reaction to this news saying that Donald Trump cannot be the president and asking for supporters to chip in if they want to help prevent him from becoming president.
Nancy Cordes for us tonight. Let's bring in John Dickerson now, our CBS News political director and anchor of Face the Nation. John, how do you read this evening?
Well, it's an amazing thing. If you just stop for a minute, 11 months ago when Donald Trump got into the race, more than a dozen competitors against him. He wasn't given any kind of a shot, really. Inside, outside of the party, strategists all thought he wasn't going to make it. He has now beaten all of those political veterans. He was a political novice. So it's an amazing accomplishment that he has. Reince Priebus, the chairman of the Republican Party, has put out a tweet and said that Republicans should now rally around Donald Trump, that they should all focus now on Hillary Clinton. John Kasich's strategist, John Weaver, has said not so fast, not until you get the exact majority, over 1,237 delegates. So Kasich is going to continue to fight on, but the Republican Party is coming in behind Donald Trump now. The question is, will there still be some people who have said they'll never vote for Donald Trump? Will they stay vocal, or will they just kind of move to the side? On the Democratic side, I've been in discussions with one of those outside groups that's going to participate in the general election. They had planned to put ads on the air on the 8th of June after the last Republican contest. They're thinking about moving up that schedule to define Donald Trump as fast as possible. That's also going to be true in all those Republican races where Democrats are now going to say, are you for or against Donald Trump, to all Republican candidates, trying to force them to ally themselves to Donald Trump, who has some tough poll numbers in terms of a general election.
So it's Trump versus Clinton going into the general election. What is that going to look like in your view?
Well, it has the potential to be quite dark for a couple of reasons. One, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are at the highest negatives of any combatants that we've seen in a general election since they've been taking reliable polling. So they've both got very high negatives. It's hard to improve those negatives, bring them down. So what ends up happening also when you get into a kind of tussle with your opponent, and that tussle is beginning already, it doesn't improve your numbers. So it's going to be probably a very tough, dark debate here between these two candidates.
So the general election matchup has been set tonight. John Dickerson, you're going to have a fascinating broadcast to talk about all of this on Face the Nation on Sunday, and we'll be watching. Thank you very much. Now, A Navy SEAL was killed today in combat against ISIS in Iraq. This firefight was north of the city of Mosul, a city of more than 1.5 million people. David Martin is at the Pentagon.
The attack, recorded and immediately distributed by ISIS for propaganda, took place near a small village 20 miles north of the Iraqi city of Mosul. It was a sudden outburst of fighting along a front that has been relatively peaceful. It began early this morning when 3 suicide truck bombs rammed into a checkpoint manned by the Kurdish Peshmerga, followed by bulldozers to clear away debris and open a path to the rear for 2 more truck bombs. There, 2 or 3 miles behind the front line, a small team of American advisors was meeting with Peshmerga commanders, paying a routine visit to make sure they were getting the supplies and equipment they needed. Whether ISIS knew the Americans were there is not clear. Airstrikes destroyed the 2 truck bombs before they could reach the rear. In video shot from Peshmerga lines, you can see a jet streak by overhead, and in the distance hear one of the explosions. It would take a total of 23 airstrikes to finally break the ISIS charge, but not before they got close enough to open fire with their rifles on the American advisors. One of them, a Navy SEAL, was shot and killed, the 3rd American serviceman to die in combat with ISIS.
Like this.
All told, there are about 5,000 American military personnel in Iraq, doing everything from training the Iraqi army to conducting commando raids. Only a small portion of them, just over 100, are advisors working with local forces in the field.
Defense officials say it's not unusual for advisors to be within a couple miles of the front lines. So this was just another day in the life of an American advisor until it turned deadly. Scott?
David Martin at the Pentagon. David, thanks. And late today, the SEAL was identified as Charles Keating IV, the grandson of the late Charles Keating, who was at the center of the savings and loan scandal in the 1980s. The Navy SEAL was 31, based in Coronado, California. He was engaged to be married in November. He grew up in Phoenix. The governor of Arizona has ordered state flags flown at half-staff in his honor. In an important study tonight, it has been reported that medical errors are now the 3rd largest cause of death behind heart disease and cancer. Dr. John LaPook has been looking into this.
Dr. Martin McCary of Johns Hopkins School of Medicine co-authored today's analysis on medical errors.
We're talking about patients dying from the care that they receive rather than the disease or injury for which they seek care. We're talking about things that happen that shouldn't happen in a sound healthcare system.
Medical errors include mistakes in diagnosis, inadequate discharge instructions, and preventable complications such as infections picked up in the hospital.
Patients don't just die from heart plaques and bacteria, they can also die from communication breakdowns and medication errors. System-level problems are almost ubiquitous in healthcare.
So, John, what is a patient supposed to do to defend himself?
Well, patients can only do so much. You can ask questions. What are the risks? What are the benefits? I like to tell my patients, if they're in the hospital, try to have a family member or a friend in the room if possible. But ultimately, this is the responsibility of hospitals and medical centers to shine a light on the problem. And for a long time, that light has simply been too dim. But I have to say, in recent years, there's been a huge effort to look at this more closely, to turn it into a science and say, what are the systemic problems? It may be several things working in concert. Identify them and fix the problem.
When in doubt, ask lots of questions. Dr. John LaPook. Doctor, thank you. Well, teachers say they'll be back in Detroit tomorrow. They called out sick for a second day today, concerned that they wouldn't be paid this summer. Today, Michigan lawmakers put up $500 million to reorganize the school district, which is considered the worst in the nation for its size. There's another big cancer verdict over talcum powder, and how did tiny Lester knock off soccer's big guns? When the CBS Evening News continues.
I use artificial tears often, but when my eye doctor said I had a disease, that got my attention.
You have a disease called chronic dry eye, caused by reduced tear production due to inflammation. You need Restasis, cyclosporin ophthalmic emulsion. Artificial tears give temporary relief, but with continued use, 1 drop in each eye twice a day, every day, Restasis helps increase your eye's natural ability to produce tears, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. Restasis did not increase tear production in patients using anti-inflammatory eye drops or tear duct plugs. To help avoid eye injury and contamination, do not touch the vial tip to your eye or other surfaces. Contact lenses should not be worn within 15 minutes of using Restasis. The most common side effect is a temporary burning sensation.
Call your eye doctor to get screened and ask about Restasis.
I've been on my feet all day. I'm bushed. Yeah, me too.
Excuse me, coming through. Ride the gel wave of comfort with Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles. They're proven to give you comfort, which helps you feel more energized all day long.
I want heat.
Need deep, long-lasting pain relief? Try Salonpas Deep Relieving Gel. 3 powerful medicines penetrate and treat pain for up to 8 hours. Need faster relief? Try Salonpas Jet Spray. Works on contact, freezing pain fast. Salonpas.
Incredible bladder protection now comes with an incredible double your money back guarantee. Always Discreet is for bladder leaks, and it's drier than Poise. Try it, love it, or get double your money back. Always Discreet.
The average American visits about 7 different websites before booking a hotel. I totally get that. We want to make sure that we get a great hotel for the best price. But why only 7 when there are so many more out there? Next time, before you book, check on Trivago. Trivago compares live prices from more than 150 different websites to make sure that you find the best price for your ideal hotel. Hotel Trivago.
A jury in St. Louis has ordered Johnson & Johnson to pay $55 million to a woman who claims that talc in the company's baby powder caused her ovarian cancer. It's the second big verdict against the company recently. Anna Werner is covering.
As long as I can remember, Johnson's baby powder's been making me feel soft, fresh, and loved.
These commercials from the 1970s and 80s helped convince thousands of American women to use Johnson & Johnson's baby powder, which contains talc. Like many, 62-year-old Gloria Ristison used it for feminine hygiene until in 2011 she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Her attorney Ted Meadows says talc was found in her ovarian tissue.
There are studies that go back decades showing that genital use of talcum powder increases the risk of ovarian cancer.
He says there are some 1,200 similar cases filed against J&J around the country. In February, another St. Louis jury awarded $72 million to the family of Jacqueline Fox of Birmingham, Alabama, who died of ovarian cancer last October. She, too, used J&J's talcum powder products. Johnson & Johnson said it will appeal the verdicts in both cases. In this videotaped statement, J&J's chief medical officer defended the company's use of talc.
We are confident in our position that there's no causal association between talc and ovarian cancer.
The American Cancer Society says results of studies on a possible link between talcum powder and ovarian cancer have been mixed. Some reported a slightly increased risk, others no increase. But Dr. Daniel Kramer of Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, an expert who testified for the plaintiffs in both cases, says the risks are clear to him.
My advice has always been not to use talc on a regular basis in the genital area. And I haven't changed that opinion for 30 years.
As for the woman who won the $55 million, her ovarian cancer is now in remission. She and her attorneys want Johnson & Johnson to put warnings on their products. But, Scott, the company maintains that the science doesn't support a need for any warnings.
Anna Werner, thanks very much. Hamilton has smashed a Broadway record. That's next.
Hey, need fast heartburn relief? Try Cool Mint Zantac. It releases a cooling sensation in your mouth and throat. Zantac works in as little as 30 minutes. Nexium can take 24 hours. Try Cool Mint Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
New Selsun Blue Full and Thick Shampoo targets the source of dandruff and has hair strengthening proteins and vitamins to leave hair looking thicker and fuller. New Selsun Blue Full and Thick.
Pet moments are beautiful, unless you have allergies. Flonase is the first and only nasal spray approved to relieve both itchy, watery eyes and congestion. No other nasal allergy spray can say that. Go ahead, embrace those beautiful moments. Flonase changes everything.
You've been gone too long, Alice, and he will be gone before long. Hurry.
You can help us save him.
What are you waiting for? Let's go!
Is this where we
Split up.
We'll split up together. You will rescue no one.
Hold on, everyone.
Stop!
Hello, Alice.
Alice.
I knew we should have stayed together. Now look at us, stuck in a giant vegetable jail.
Rated PG.
Terry Bradshaw? What a surprise. You know what else is a surprise? Shingles. And I can hit you out of nowhere. I know. I had it. That's why I'm here. Come on, let's sit down and talk about it. And did you know that 1 in 3 people will get shingles?
I didn't know that.
I did. He's on TV saying it. But have you done anything?
No.
That's why I'm reminding people like you to ask your doctor or pharmacist about your risk of getting shingles. Because if you had chicken pox, then the shingles virus is already inside you. Ooh. Who's had chicken pox? Scoot over. Me too. When I got shingles, I had this ugly band of blisters. And look, that nasty rash can pop up anywhere. And the pain can be even worse than it looks. So talk to your doctor or pharmacist. We all in?
Yes!
Good, because if not, we're going to watch highlights of my career. 12 hours straight. I know. Talk about pain. Seriously now, talk to your doctor or pharmacist today about a vaccine that can help prevent shingles.
Feel secure in your dentures. Feel free to be yourself all day. Just switch from denture paste to C-Bond denture adhesive seals. Hold stronger than the leading paste all day without the ooze. Feel secure. Be yourself with stronger, clean C-Bond.
I'd like to see more of the old lady. I'd like to see her go back to her more, social side.
ProPlan Bright Mind promotes alertness and mental sharpness in dogs 7 and older.
It was shocking. She's much more aware.
She loves the food.
She wants to learn things. The difference has been incredible.
Purina ProPlan Bright Mind, nutrition that performs.
Today, the Broadway blockbuster Hamilton was nominated for a record 16 Tony Awards. The musical has already won a Grammy and a Pulitzer Prize.
And there's a million things I haven't done.
Hamilton is the brainchild of author and actor Lin-Manuel Miranda, who tells the story of one of America's founding fathers through the beat of hip-hop and the rhythm of rap.
I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing.
Miranda is up for 3 Tonys, including Best Performance in a Leading Role. He'll face off in that role against Leslie Odom Jr., who plays Vice President Aaron Burr, who of course killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel. Philippa Sue, who plays Hamilton's wife, was nominated for lead actress. Up for featured actor are Daveed Diggs, who plays Thomas Jefferson, Jonathan Groff as King George III, and Christopher Jackson as George Washington. The Tonys will be handed out June 12th on CBS. Well, today at the real White House, President Obama honored a former teenage mother as the National Teacher of the Year. Johanna Hayes says she wants her high school students in Waterbury, Connecticut to know that there are no dead ends. In a moment, Mark Phillips unearths the secret behind soccer's 5,000-to-1 champions.
This portion of the CBS Evening News is sponsored by Publishers Clearinghouse and PCH.com.
Would you like to be a Publishers Clearinghouse winner next month? Get ready, because now you could win $2 million immediately, plus $10,000 a month for life and a new car. It's the new Win It All prize, and it could be yours.
This is amazing.
$2 million plus $10,000 a month for lifelong financial security and a new car.
Oh my God!
Watch your mail or go to PCH.com and enter. June 30th, you could win it all.
Caring for someone with Alzheimer's means I am his guardian.
I am his sunshine.
I am her ally.
So I asked about adding once daily Namenda XR to her current treatment for moderate to severe Alzheimer's. It works differently. When added to another Alzheimer's treatment, it may improve overall function and cognition, and may slow the worsening of symptoms for a while.
Namenda XR doesn't change how the disease progresses. It shouldn't be taken by anyone allergic to memantine or who's had a bad reaction to Namenda XR or its ingredients. Before starting treatment, tell their doctor if they have or ever had a seizure disorder, difficulty passing urine, liver, kidney, or bladder problems, and about medications they're taking. Certain medications, changes in diet, or medical conditions may affect the amount of Namenda XR in the body and may increase side effects. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and dizziness.
All my life, he's protected me. Now I am giving back. Ask their doctor about once daily Namenda XR and learn about a free trial offer at NamendaXR.com.
I take pictures of sunrises. It's my job, and it's also my passion. But with my back pain, I couldn't sleep, so I couldn't get up in time. Then I found Aleve PM.
Aleve PM is the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour strength of Aleve for pain relief that can last into the morning.
And now, I'm back.
Aleve PM for a better AM.
I have asthma, one of many pieces in my life. So when my asthma symptoms kept coming back on my long-term control medicine, I talked to my doctor and found a missing piece in my asthma treatment with Brio.
Once daily Brio prevents asthma symptoms. Brio's for adults with asthma not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Brio won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Brio opens up airways to help improve breathing for a full 24 hours. Brio contains a type of medicine that increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Brio is not for people whose asthma is well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Brio and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Brio more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor if 24-hour Brio could be a missing piece for you. See if you're eligible for 12 months free at mybrio.com.
CBSN, proud to receive the Webby Award as the best news and information channel. CBSN, CBS News, always on.
Well, there's no stopping the party in Leicester, England, where the soccer team pulled off the biggest surprise in all of sports by winning the Premier League championship. It's a Cinderella story, and for once, the clock never struck midnight. Mark Phillips is there.
This was Fantasy League football where the fantasy came true. The players of Leicester City Soccer Club had been watching their closest rivals falter in a must-win game on TV. They started their champions dance then. They were still dancing today, and the town was singing their praises. The boys have become a worst to first. Remember King Richard III, whose long-lost remains were discovered under a parking lot in the middle of Leicester? Remember how he was reburied with honors in Leicester's cathedral? Richard may have died centuries before soccer was invented, but Leicester's winter of discontent ended there and then. Streak and haven't looked back since. And Darryl and Kevin Brown think they know why.
We've got a king. You know, and the King's just made it happen for us, hasn't he? So,
to be honest, our King is real, and Robin Hood, I'm afraid.
And a Leicester fan, it would seem.
Indeed he was.
Here's another fan who may have helped. Buddhist monks in Thailand, where the team's owner is from, have been praying for wins. The Buddha, too, it seems, is a Leicester City fan. And why not? In a modern world where sports is about big business and the highest bidder, a little team of no-hopers from a little town that few have heard of has beaten the big boys. Not a bad time to be from Leicester, says sociologist and fan John Williams. Remember Leicester?
Remember Leicester, it'll stand for something, won't it? Doing a Leicester, it'll become a verb, yeah.
You know you wouldn't believe it. Everybody's doing the Leicester now.
But we have won the league.
Mark Phillips, CBS News, Leicester.
And that's the CBS Evening News for tonight. For all of us at CBS News all around the world, good night.
CBS 2 News investigations. Expect more results.
The Insider, tracking the biggest stories making news today.
Number 1, welcome to fashion's fiercest night. Kelty slays with the Met Gala's killer carpet couture.
What's it like to walk up these stairs with what's going on behind?
It's a little bit cold.
Kimye's big night out, kid-free.
I'm just excited to have a date night.
And here with Queen Bee's stylist. Was her dress the skin off Becky's back?
Then is Regis reuniting with Kelly?
She's got a bunch of people that she likes.
Inside the backstage battle for the morning show's hot seat.
They've already got the contract.
And number 3, controversy on the dance floor.
It was outstanding.
Ginger scores, Niles robbed, and